Good morning, St. Francis, and good morning, people of God. It is Monday, the 17th day of February 2025, Monday of the 6th week of the year, the 6th week in Ordinary Time. It is also on the American calendar President's Day. So in between Lincoln's birthday and Washington's birthday, we have this day off in February. And I don't know how many presidents you're supposed to be honoring, or supposed to be remembering, or whatever it is, but it's President's Day, so it's a day off, so it's another quiet day here on the campus of St. Francis of Assisi. Both the preschool and TFS have the day off today. It is a cold day today. It's going to get colder. We'll see what kind of wintry precipitation we will also get. It's a bit ridiculous. It was 60 something yesterday. Now it's in its 30s. So it just is. It's going all over the place. And I should be in DC doing a Lenten workshop with our postulants, but Mother Nature intervened and said, "No, you're not." So we're going to do a Zoom tomorrow and get the Lenten stuff in as much as we can. So yes, I guess that's about it. So on this Monday of the 6th week of the year, again, 2 more weeks, this week and next week, and then 2 days of the following week, and then we are into Lent. So it's a lot on the calendar, a lot awaiting us. But in this last remnant of Winter Ordinary Time, we continue with Genesis. Now on Saturday we would have had the repercussions of what do we call it? Of eating the apple. That's it. Of eating the apple and what happens. And on Saturday, again, it's the curses or the punishments that God deals out. But even before you get to that, there is the statement in which God says, "Who told you you were naked?" Because the man and the woman were hiding because they were naked and they were fearing God. Again, this statement never explored enough in our theology because this is a key statement. It's not the fact that they ate an apple. It's the fact that all of a sudden they begin to think that what God has created is wrong, that it's bad, that it has to be hidden, that something is wrong. And unfortunately, our church has for centuries taken up that line, "Who told you you were naked?" and took it upon itself to keep telling people they are naked. There's something wrong with them. They're bad. And so they need the sacrament of penance again and again and again. And again, this vicious circle that begins with no way out because you're constantly bad, you're constantly naked. And that's not what God is getting at. God is asking, why would you ever think that way about yourself? Because I created you and you are glorious and wonderful. Nothing can take that away, and nothing ever really does. The punishments are never about taking away the goodness and the wonder and beauty of this world. It still is, but we have to begin to recognize the fact that we are sometimes the worst detractors or the worst condemners of ourselves, of this world within it, and it isn't God. And so today, again, we have now Cain, Adam and Eve. Again, Adam, who finally gets a name, Adam, although his name means all of humanity. It now means a male human person. Adam and then Eve having 2 children, Cain and then Abel. Not necessarily twins, but one born and then the other born. It never ever really says which one is the older or not. But one becomes a herder of flocks, the other one becomes a farmer. And they offer something to God each. And again, why are they doing that? Are they supposed to do that? Do they have to do that? It never says they have to do any of that. But they do it, and God accepts Abel's offering, but God does not accept Cain's offering, which is another whole problem. Is why would God be this way? And again, Cain, noticeably upset by this, gets angry, and God says, "Don't be angry, just do better." And it's kind of like, God, this isn't working out. This isn't going to work out in the end. Everybody knows that that's not how you treat, children, and that's not how you treat learning. That's not how you treat, again, what it means to be valued and what it means to be honored. And so, God says, "Cain, don't do this," and Cain doesn't listen, of course. And again, it begins to talk about demons. Again, when were the demons created? Nobody ever says, So, but this is where then Cain decides he's going to get vengeance upon Abel and kills him. And then God gets angry because of that. It's like, but then Cain is like, and God banishes him. But then Cain is like, well, if I'm banished and I'm apart from you, everyone can kill me. And then God's like, well, no one's going to kill you. I'm going to put a mark on you. And if anyone kills you, you're going to be avenged 100,000-fold, whatever it is. So God is set up this terrible dynamic of vengeance. And it's like, it doesn't make any sense. And this is where we have to be very careful with these opening stories. And yet these opening stories seem to lie at a foundation of our faith and our belief, which is not healthy, which is not good. It isn't good. It's never good. And then it kind of just ends, and we jump to verse 25 towards the end of it, where Cain and Abel, where Adam and Eve have another son. They call him Seth, which actually means a Hebrew replacement. So, because it's the replacement for Abel, the good son, and it will be from Seth that, or actually Seth's son Enosh, that worship of God, begins. True worship of God begins. So again, the Israelites trying to pinpoint again when all of this idea of ritual and liturgy and worship of God begins. Again, they put it with Seth's son Enosh, and it moves from there. But the whole story has so many holes and so many problems. And again, a God who knows everything, a God who is omniscient, whatever it is, plotting this all out to be this way does not make much sense. And so we have to kind of be very careful always when we come to these opening narratives of creation, what they mean. In Mark's gospel, basically we have the Pharisees looking for signs, looking for signs, looking for signs. And this is always the problem, even with humanity today. So even in the first century, it really wasn't, there wasn't anything different than today. We all want signs. We all want signs. We all want God to show us in point blank that this is who God is and this is how things are going to be. Well, God doesn't work that way. And Jesus gets frustrated, and again, a sigh that comes from deep within him. You're not going to get any signs. You're going to see what you see, and that should be enough. And why isn't that a sign in and of itself? Again, we want all kinds of proofs because we dare to doubt. We dare to doubt again and again and again, and that doubting causes us blindness. If we cause blindness, then we misinterpret things, we misunderstand things, we don't see the truth in who and what they are. We are called for always more. We're called to be more. We're called to witness to more in this world. And again, it is what God shows us that should be enough to help us be able to move with confidence and faith into being who God needs us to be. A blessed day, St. Francis and people of God. A blessed President's Day to everybody. May the Lord give you his peace.